Today, Alfred the Great is remembered as the king who united the Saxons against the Danes, but in January 878 he suffered a humiliating defeat.
Yes, the Danish warlord Guthrum launched a surprise winter invasion, capturing much of Wessex and almost capturing Alfred himself.
On this episode of Little Wars TV, we're wargaming one of the most dramatic moments of the Dark Ages. A Viking raiding party will try to capture Alfred the Great at his royal estate. But we aren't just playing one battle, we're setting up a series of two linked scenarios. In the second game, Alfred and his surviving men attempt a desperate counterattack in the Somerset marshes.
These historical events are depicted in the Netflix show The Last Kingdom, based on a series of books by Bernard Cornwell. Before our war game, Keith and I will take a closer look at how The Last Kingdom portrays this chapter in Alfred the Great's career. How faithful is the show to the historical record?
So Hollywood's track record is usually pretty bad on these things.
Maybe you should prepare to be surprised.
I doubt it. Surprise! Oh, God!
You guys didn't think you could do this episode without me, did you?
Well, we've all seen the TV show, but you're the only one who's read the Bernard Cornwell books.
Well, the show is very good. It's called The Last Kingdom, which is actually the name of only the first of a dozen books. In both the show and the books, the main protagonist is a warrior named Uhtred, who is a mix of Saxon and Danish ancestry. Uhtred is a fictional character, but he's surrounded by many historical personalities. Alfred the Great, Guthrum, Aethelflaed, Edward, Haston, Aethelred are all examples of major characters in the story who are real people.
Today we want to focus on the specific historical crisis depicted in The Last Kingdom. We're going to do two war games that depict the winter of 878 when Alfred the Great was nearly captured. Before we get to the TV show, let's set the stage with some historical context. In the late 800s, Danes controlled much of Saxon England. The last Saxon kingdom to resist was Wessex, ruled by Alfred. His most fearsome opponent was the Danish warlord Guthrum, who led multiple campaigns deep into Alfred's territory. But in the year 877, the two leaders brokered a peace treaty.
Historians still don't agree on what happened next. Did Alfred expect the peace treaty to hold, or was he just waiting for the next campaign season to begin?
Well, we may never know, but Guthrum breaks the treaty anyway, a month into it, and launches a well-coordinated surprise attack in the dead of winter.
And that's what we'll pick up with The Last Kingdom. Guthrum's surprise attack is the penultimate episode of Season 1. In episode 107, King Alfred is in Winchester, the capital of Wessex. Suddenly, outside the city walls, Guthrum and his army emerge from the woods and launch a surprise attack. There's chaos and confusion inside Winchester, and the Danes sack the city.
They are not to pass! They are not to approach the palace!
Father, they will hack the likes of us to pieces!
The king! Where is the king? The king will have to make his own arrangements! And what of me? Order! Order!
Almost everything depicted in the sequence is questionable or flat out wrong. First of all, the attack occurred in early January, in the middle of winter. The show makes it appear to be spring or summer. This is not a minor distinction, because the reason the Saxons were taken by surprise is precisely because it was winter. Winter was not a traditional time for campaigning in this period. Here's another problem. This scene shouldn't have taken place at Winchester. Alfred was known to not be in Winchester at the time. He had left the city for one of his royal estates to celebrate Christmas. Alfred had several estates in Wessex countryside, but most historians believe he was at Chippenham, where Guthrum invaded. Here's our hero, Uhtred, wearing some kind of decorative leather and fur outfit that was clearly made by a Hollywood costume designer and not a Dark Ages historian. A much better example of Saxon wardrobe appears here. These men are in plain wool tunics with some light armor.
Jeez, man, you really savaged that scene.
All the details are wrong, but it did get the big picture right. When Guthrum did launch a surprise attack, he did nearly capture Alfred, and he claimed most of Wessex in his attack.
Unlike the TV show, we're going to try and stick closer to the real history. As a royal estate, Chippenham almost certainly would have had at least some rudimentary defenses, like the low walls we made here.
So generally speaking, the TV show does a better job of depicting what happens after this when Alfred flees. In the show, King Alfred and his men are seen hiding in the Somerset marshes. That's accurate, and the setting where they filmed these scenes looks perfect. From the marshes, Alfred rebuilt his strength and prepared a counterattack. The show has the king hiding in a little fishing village, and that's definitely not the case. We know that Alfred spent the winter at a well-defended island fortress, not this shanty town.
We've built a custom tabletop to play our second scenario, where the Saxons ambush a Viking scouting party in the marshes. So Zach, what's the historical basis for our second scenario?
Well, I'd say that's based loosely on real events. In The Last Kingdom, Uhtred leads a group of Saxon warriors to ambush the Danes and burn their ships. He uses the wet ground to his advantage and traps them. The episode ends with Alfred, Uhtred, and our heroes watching the Danish longships burn. So this is not based on any historically recorded battle, but with Alfred spending the winter in the Somerset marshes, it makes sense that some Danes in a patrol would have come after him.
That's true, and in our scenario, we're going to have the Saxons try to burn the Danish ships, just like they did in the show.
To play today's game, we're using 28mm figures with the rules Raven Feast. Raven Feast is a free set of skirmish rules for the battles in the Viking Age. Our club published this system as a gateway game to help attract new players to the hobby of historical miniature wargaming.
In the coming weeks, Little Wars TV will roll out a ton of videos supporting Raven Feast. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to get into wargaming with as little cost as possible.
You can play Raven Feast with as few as a dozen figures per side. The models you see here are from a variety of different manufacturers, but they're all 28mm scale.
Today we're playing 2 linked scenarios starting with Guthrum's surprise attack on the Saxon royal estate at Chippenham. The Danes heavily outnumbered the Saxons and can enter the tabletop from any table edge. Their objective is to capture King Alfred.
Now Keith and I will be playing as the Danes.
Well, I think you look more like Guthrum than I do.
We can fix that. Tonight we'll drink in Valhalla. Now where's that false Christian King Alfred? Ah!
Did someone call for me?
Here's our King Alfred figure. We're using a variety of miniatures today, but this particular model is made by Footsore Miniatures. Tony's objective is to escape the tabletop by any means necessary with as many men as he can. Any warriors he can get off of the table are available in this second scenario. For fun, we're also including Uhtred as a Saxon hero in this scenario. He may be a fictional character in the show, but it's going to be way more fun if we include him in the game. How do you want to approach this?
I don't think that we pick a table edge and stick to it. The situation is going to be fluid. We're going to have to make a decision. Hopefully, if need be, we can exit off multiple table edges just to get people off the table, cause some confusion.
I think we should stay somewhat concentrated because they're going to be split.
Right.
If we stay concentrated, we'll outnumber them. In this life or the next,
Skull!
Your advice,
So if the Christian King Alfred is there hiding in his hall,
like the coward he is.
and we know he cannot flee in that direction, we should bring in some men from here, and from here, and I think from those woods back there,
They should rush the gate.
to rush the gate and cut off an escape in that direction.
It's a good plan. This is why I turned to your advice.
It's a peaceful morning in the Saxon village of Chippenham. The dirt roads in town are deserted, and King Alfred's royal hall is quiet after a night of Christmas revelry. But in the woods on the outskirts of town, a Danish army sneaks into position. The Danes split their forces into 3 warbands. This is Guthrum and his personal retinue. On the first turn, Keith and Zach launch their surprise attack from 3 different table edges. Zach's warband approaching from the south meets no opposition and begins looting the church. Uhtred rushes out to the royal hall to raise the alarm, and Father Bjorka emerges from another doorway. Saxon archers are dispatched to the watchtower, and soldiers hastily man the low walls around the king's hall. As the Saxons scramble into action, the Danes are moving fast. The 3-pronged Danish attack develops perfectly. Keith and Zach already have 2 warbands within bow range of the royal hall, and a 3rd blocking force moves into position to cut off the northern escape route. It's only turn 1, and Chippenham is already swarming with Danes. But Josh and Tony are not flustered. They accurately predicted Keith and Zach would surround the village from multiple sides, which leaves the Danes spread out and vulnerable to counter-attack. The Saxon plan is simple. They will leave archers in the watchtower to delay 2 of the Danish warbands, while Alfred, Uhtred and their household Huskarl smash their way through the Danish blocking force to make a clean escape. But the Saxons are under heavy pressure from the outset. Zach's bowmen climb onto a rooftop and pepper the watchtower with arrows.
What do you hit on?
1 and 2, yeah.
Whoa! 2 hits.
Alright, so you roll your 2 cover saves.
Okay.
4 plus.
Oh, both fail.
Okay,
Oh,
two arrows up into the tower.
Armor is 2.
Yeah, so 1 or 2.
1 save.
Oh, okay. So one archer's dead. Nice.
Alright,
Nice
yeah.
shooting.
Alright.
We lost
We
an
can't
archer.
lose all the peasants. Who will do the work?
King Alfred has more to worry about than losing a peasant archer. The Danes win the initiative on turn 2, allowing them to move first and race closer to the royal hall. Zach moves his shield wall into position to seal off the Saxon escape route before they can exit the royal compound.
So over here, Guthrum.
Skill board!
Shield wall here.
Nice.
Berserker on the flank.
The shield wall!
Tony and Josh have no choice but to fight their way out. Uhtred's warband forms the shield walls and charges.
Oh, and this berserker is going to heroically jump off the wagon.
Where's King Alfred?
Right here.
What a dill hole.
Hey, you're a dill hole.
You suck! This is some Viking from the Martians.
Keith and Zach enjoy a laugh and can't help but celebrate as all three of their warbands are now crashing down on the surrounded Saxons. In desperation, Uhtred and Alfred form back-to-back shield walls. Death or capture feels inevitable. At this critical moment, when all seems lost, the Saxons need a hero.
Yeah.
And just
Haste
every
and
day
double
goes
fails.
addressing
But he
the
does have a
mountains
1.
And packs them.
One of these hits is a 1.
Is it a 1?
Yes.
So, death worthy of a song. Hasten down.
Yeah!
Who's
In
down?
this life or the next.
Hasten. What? Yeah, the Viking Huskarl Hasten. The war leader Hasten.
Wait, what?
Uhtred of Babinborough just
Killed him.
decapitated
I
him.
just killed him. Took off his head.
Awesome effects.
Slay them!
And then this guy moves up and they can still keep a full shield wall.
And I'm gonna.
He'd have-
I'm on him from beside.
You have-
Actually, you and I are locked in.
Yeah. In fact, whatever works.
I have mixed feelings here because part of me thinks that I could slip through that gap and start making my getaway. But to do that is going to allow all those guys to hit you in the rear, which is going to fucking wipe you out.
Uhtred will do this for Wessex.
Uhtred's vow to provide rearguard for Alfred's escape isn't just a noble gesture, it's a tactical necessity. Keith and Zach aren't giving up, as they still have 2 more Danish warbands on Alfred's heels. One of Zach's berserkers cuts down the remaining archers in the watchtower, while other Danes set fire to parts of Chippenham. With Uhtred making a fighting withdrawal as a rearguard, King Alfred and his vanguard slip through the village and run to make it off the table edge. The Danes can only watch in dismay as the Saxon kings escape their trap, but they are determined not to allow the fictional Saxon heroes Uhtred and his priest Father Bjorka to make it off alive. A mad chase ensues, and in these final moments it becomes every man for himself. Multiple warbands are intermingled, and the chase breaks down into confusion and mayhem.
This is the Huskarl over here.
Okay.
So he'll swing on a 4. Hits.
4, he's good.
Okay.
It's on a 1.
Uh-oh.
So that'll be that guy, this guy.
That guy's Keith's.
Okay, so then striking that guy's
That guy's Keith's also.
Well, then he's killing one of them.
Okay.
No, this one's yours. This one's mine.
Okay,
Right.
so one of those guys is getting hit by that dude.
Okay.
He's killed one of your
They're
dudes.
excited. They're excited. It's chaos. Everyone looks the same. They're speaking practically the same language.
Oh, you hit me?
Yeah. because you guys are pursuing.
Yeah.
It's chaos.
Right.
They come ambushing out of the side.
Yeah.
As guys are running past, and one guy just whack.
I did point out to him. I was sure Keith's guy.
So yeah, oops. So that's a 1 to wound that guy. So if you want to make an armor save,
Billy! Okay. You're lucky. That save. What the f*** are you doing?
clang.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
All right.
Our first scenario ends with a miraculous Saxon escape. The royal village of Chippenham is in flames, but King Alfred, Uhtred, and most of their household Huskarls make it off the northern table edge to safety.
So that was a tough little scenario right there, man. I thought by the end of the second turn, when we were back-to-back shield wall, stuck in the gate, trying to get out of the compound,
Yeah,
it was bleak.
It did. It looked grim, but it didn't pan out that way. There was some hesitation on the Viking part.
Yeah.
Jarl Stein was a little slow to engage, and I think that bought us enough time,
Just a turn.
combined
Just a
with talking
turn.
about the event.
We did have a death worthy of a song. In my force, Uhtred did kill Hasten, so when a death worthy of a song, which really opened up that combat. As soon as he lost his leader in his Viking force, we were able to push through and start moving towards an escape route.
So close! We almost had him.
So the Christian king flees.
He flees like a coward that he is.
King of what? King of the swamp? We have his village, we have his city, we have his kingdom.
But we don't have his head.
The Danish warlord Guthrum now controls most of Wessex. In our second scenario, King Alfred and any Saxons who manage to escape the table at Chippenham mount a counter-attack in the Somerset marshes. This custom tabletop includes a small Danish beachhead, where Tostig and his raiding party are searching for the marshes for Alfred. Just as in the TV show, The Last Kingdom, our Saxon players must burn this Viking longship to win the scenario. The Danish raiding party must deploy within 12 inches of their ship, and the Saxons are allowed to begin anywhere on the table. But what the Saxon players don't know is that a secondary Danish force is allowed to land anywhere along the coast on turn 2, including all the way back to this inlet behind the Saxons. How will Zac and Keith make use of their ambush landing? Let's find out. The game begins with the Saxons advancing through the marsh in a pincer move. King Alfred and his warband attack from one flank, while Uhtred leads his party against the opposite flank.
Alright, initiative.
Okay.
Ooh, yes.
2.
-1.
1.
1. Alright, so I'm 2.
I'm on 3.
Okay, so you 2 first.
Alright. I think I should be able to close, right?
I think you're further than 3.
Is it further than 3?
Oh, maybe it's just... It's 3, yeah, okay. Yeah, you got it. Close up.
And he hits with a 4.
Alright. I got it.
Okay. This guy on the back rank here
Okay.
hits on 1.
Wow. Okay.
That might be
His
it.
armor is 4, so yeah, that's a hit.
That was a good one.
He's tough though, he has 2 wounds.
Dun dun dun. What's it cost to go through the marsh?
Moving through the marshes counts as rough ground, slowing King Alfred's advance. This leaves Josh to fight Keith alone, and their shield walls collide. With Josh locked in combat and Tony struggling through the marshy terrain, the Danes decide now is the time to spring their ambush.
There they go. Roo.
Boat scrapes from the sand, a half move out of it.
Zac's landing party disembarks from their small boat and rushes to surround Josh's Saxons from behind. Where is King Alfred and the other half of the Saxon army? Pesky Danish bowmen hiding in the marshes pepper them with harassing fire while the Saxons slog through the mud. Perhaps the Saxon decision to split their forces in 2 isolated wings was not a wise move after all. With Zac's warband closing in from behind, Josh is in a tight spot. He has Uhtred order Father Bjorka to break away from the shield wall and make a dash to burn the longship. The priest is blocked by one of Keith's berserkers, but heroically defeats the Viking in single combat. On the next turn, Father Bjorka splashes through the shallow waters and approaches the ship, torch in hand.
Bring that priest down!
Danish bowmen on the longship desperately try to stop the Saxon priest, but cannot bring him down. Worst yet, in the heat of the moment, Keith becomes a little overzealous in his defence of the longship.
Yeah, go ahead, see that.
Hit! 2! I'll take it. Josh.
Alright, that's not my berserker.
Oh. Oh, you shot Zac's berserker.
Yeah, you shot Zac's berserker.
Oh, well, he's facing me. I'm just getting you back. Yeah. So roll for that berserker.
Did you hit?
Yeah, he did it.
Oh, you shoot out over here?
Yeah, I thought that was a berserker coming towards me. You should know.
The Christians don't have berserkers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, he's screaming, running at me.
Twice in each game. We've had some Dane-on-Dane violence.
So it's in the mist. There's just a guy going, ah! The next one,
Oh shit! Oh, sorry. Sorry, my bad.
Danish incompetence has led to another case of friendly fire, allowing Father Bjorka to miraculously reach the longship and toss in the first torch, but it's going to take more than one Saxon torch to burn an entire ship. By turn 4, Tony's Saxons finally emerge from the marshes to put pressure on the Danish beachhead. A sharp, quick fight breaks out and King Alfred is in the thick of the action.
Looking for a 4. Oh, he takes a wound. Oh no, wait, we're in shield wall. But he rolled a 6, so he still fails. So he takes a wound.
Alfred is wounded.
Alfred is wounded.
Just like all leaders and heroes in Ravenfeast, Alfred can sustain multiple wounds before he's out of the fight. and he has enough strength left to break through the Danish rearguard and order his men onto the longship. The Saxons climb aboard and the fires spread. Victory for Alfred and Uhtred is close at hand. The Vikings are known to hold grudges, and Keith is determined to take a couple of Saxon heroes down with him. He surrounds Father Bjorka and tries to finish off the priest.
Alright, 3 Bondi trying to kill the priest. Oh, 3 hits!
Oh! Oh, Lord!
They're like, die, you stupid
3
priest.
hits on the priest. All right.
On Bianca.
All right, I need 4s.
You're gonna fail.
2, 3, and I need 1 more. A 4. So that's all I needed. I saved all 3.
Harsar over there.
And he's like,
Protected by his Christian god, Father Bjorka survives. But will Uhtred? On the final turn of the game, Uhtred is down to his last wound. For 3 turns he has almost single-handedly held off almost 10 Danish warriors. Will he survive one last turn of combat?
Pass for the 5.
miss. Hit.
Oh!
Is that it? Is that it?
Guthrum killed him.
Yes!
Guthrum killed him. I rolled a 6.
As he should have.
Guthrum killed him.
You do not know my fate! Was it a death worthy of a song?
No, it wasn't. But it was,
Then Uhtred survives.
yeah.
He's got plot armor. He didn't die from that.
Blood harbor.
Uhtred's sacrifices allowed the rest of the Saxon army enough time to burn the Danish longship and drive off the invaders. This should give Alfred the time he needs to rally the men of Wessex for a climatic battle against Guthrum in just a few months. A battle that, historically, Alfred is destined to win in May 878.
Alright, well that's it.
That is.
Good fight, guys.
It was a good game. Good game.
I
There were
killed-
some tense moments there.
Yeah, but I killed Uhtred.
We got tossed, but that's not quite the
Defeated
same.
Uhtred.
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
he's not going to be dead.
That's true. In fact, we have him in the weeds here.
Yeah.
And Father Bjorka set the fire on the ship.
Yes, he did.
There you go.
Survived.
Even a berserker couldn't take him down.
And if you like what you saw here today and you like this game, the rules Raven Feast are free at littlewarstv.com.
Fast, free, simple.